Alright, so yeah, just you see a few guards drinking, and then you see an area that looks more like an armory towards the back. It's kind of one big room, but with smaller rooms.
I'll just kind of walk up to the door and say greetings.
To the door? Like just
yeah, like I'm not gonna walk in.
A few of the drinking guards nod and give you an acknowledgement.
I heard that I could borrow a mask here, and that y'all might have one that would fit Shiana here.
One of them looks over. He's like, "Yeah, check the armory in the back."
Okay. Walk in and start looking around.
Well, you a lot of the doors are inside are closed. The only open door you see goes to an armory and outside.
Okay. I go into the armory.
You see lots of things, lots of weapons, armor. You see a wall of masks of varying shapes. Not many human ones. There are enough, like a few, but a lot of there's like animal shaped ones as well.
I'll look for one that,
judging
by mine, seems to fit Shiana.
And you can try it on, and it fits her just fine. She says something in Celestial,
and yeah, I wouldn't have tried to talk through mine yet, so let's see if I have anything to deal with that. I'll take it back off her and say, what was that? I could not make it out. Yeah. I take it off of her and ask her to repeat what she said.
Do I really have to wear this?
I mean, you're welcome to try it, but from everything I've heard, it's a really bad idea to go out there without doing it, without wearing one.
Fine.
I don't think I have message, which is really annoying all of a sudden. I think sending is the only one I've got for speaking. I will say, as I'm looking through the things trying to find one for her, because I imagine it'll take a minute. So what's with all of the ones for different animals? Are there just a lot of people with animals here, or what's up?
Well, we've got we have this place is called Saints Borough for a reason. We have 5 people here. We call it 5 Saints, and a couple of them have had some different shaped companions, and one of them has a polar bear that he's had for a really long time, so we had to have different sizes for it as it grew up. And
okay.
So like what you're using is actually an old one of that one. We also have this one girl who can just make creatures appear. She's something else entirely, and so she's had. Most of these are for her.
Oh, okay.
But
are we talking like just the summoning spell, or?
I don't know magic.
Oh, okay.
No. So yeah, you're talking to.
I know.
Yeah. So you say the summoning spell, and you see just question marks in his eyes.
Do they stay around for a while, or just for a minute or two?
Sometimes a little bit of both. Some of them stay a while, and her favorite freaks me out.
Oh, okay. Because we did determine I did know what a summoner was in... No, not quite. I don't fucking know.
There's no knowledge for that. And I guess knowledge arcana.
Well, no, because when Luna's character was here, we had the discussion. I can't remember what we determined.
Oh.
I think maybe that I might have known what they were, but that I wouldn't from the way she said it. That I would assume just a specialized wizard.
Yeah, I guess.
So I might just assume a really specialized wizard, but yeah, which is kind of what they are.
Yeah, specialized to have enough to have their own class.
What makes them saints? Have they just been here a while, or?
They are the main protectors of the city. No one has been able to fell any of them in battle.
Oh, that's a tempting challenge right there.
Don't.
Was that in game or out of game?
That was out of game.
Okay.
Don't. Not yet. I'm pretty sure one of them could take both you and Shiana. It would be hard for them. They would not escape that unscathed, but they could probably take you, depending on which one. There are two of them that you might be able to handle, just because you and Shiana's classes would be better against them.
Oh yeah.
But the one you met would mop the floor with you. And the one he was just talking about would mop everything with you.
I do say in game though, that's a tempting challenge.
He chuckles and he's like, if you you could probably spar with one. And they're always looking for more help. We had 6 saints at one point, but can't be a saint anymore if you die. Unless it's,
I mean,
well, not. That's wrong, and that's sad because it wasn't even him being wrong. That was just me being wrong.
That is normally.
We have the 5 living saints.
That is normally a prerequisite for being a saint. In fact,
dying.
Yeah, you don't get sainthood while you're living.
Well, these people do.
Yeah.
It's more of a
title. Yeah,
I guess. But But right now we've got the 5 saints. We've had more than that. You can become one if you prove yourself.
Yeah, sounds like a nice gig. I've never been one to stick around in one place long enough to do something like that, though.
He chuckles. You must be an adventurer.
Yep.
He looks over at the wolf. I knew that already.
I mean, she is too. That's why she's with me. I don't know why I felt that needed saying. But
well, because I think a lot of people assume you're a druid.
Probably.
Like, the druid you were just speaking to probably assumed you were a druid.
Probably.
With a young dire wolf, or a dire wolf, because I think that's the size of a dire wolf.
Yeah.
It's horse-sized. Hello.
Hey, Buttface.
I missed you. I assumed since this was all your room with a light on, I was like,
Hello.
Hi. You look comfortable.
Yeah. We're Pathfindering.
I know.
Hug. How have you been?
Pretty good. Better now that my babies are all in one room. I see what you mean about the bed.
Yeah, it's not big. It's really not big enough for me to spread out on.
Yeah.
And if one of you tried to sleep in that bed with me, you would end up killing yourself because it's too hot.
Yeah.
I would definitely be naked.
And that probably wouldn't be enough.
No, it wouldn't.
Because this room kind of gets hot at night.
Okay.
It's a lot hotter than Joseph's room.
I do have a holy symbol on display, but I guess a lot of druids would still worship a god and could
Have holy symbols as well.
Can I interject the game to ask, the fuck is this?
This is a map. This is part of a map.
Mm-hmm.
This is the area where he's at, and the pieces that are overturned are places he might be going today. But he can't see them yet because he hasn't gone there yet. I just have a lot of map papers, so I had to get the ones he might be going to out because it takes me a while.
Mm-hmm.
What's with all the color coding?
Biomes. This place is fractured. You remember in the last campaign the plane shard
Yes.
thing that could
Yes.
Well,
it shattered, and this is where it shattered. So this place is just biomes everywhere. It's like Minecraft.
Yeah. It is.
So, quick recap before I let y'all.
Okay.
I'm in a place nearby, just north of us, has ice crystals in it.
Oh, yummy.
And I heard about that and said, yeah, that sounds fun, let's go there. And
You voluntarily went somewhere cold. You're crazy. Okay.
well, I mean, I've been doing Endure Elements for a long time, which basically makes
he's been in a cold place for quite a while. He's just been casting a magic spell that lets him not feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the last thing you remember? Because last time you were in a game, you saw a game. It was the whole party together.
There was a tree, and somebody got abducted outside the tree. And then y'all were searching.
That is such a long time ago.
So to catch you up, all of the people that were in that area are dead.
Oh.
And then the Mages Guild that had a portal to their guild just north of that area, all of them are dead.
Tom is dead. Or no, Tom's character died.
Yeah.
I think I should have heard about that before now.
Bob, short for Robert, died in the Unicorn Palace.
Did he die by a unicorn impaling?
No, he died because he told the person who killed the unicorn that he knew that she killed the unicorn. After learning that she had killed Valky, it didn't stick with Valky because she was one of my
Valky
characters.
got brought back.
Almost
Bob
immediately.
did not get lost.
Oh, I did remember Valky dying and getting brought back, but that's because I like Valky.
Yeah. Bob died the next session because they were finishing up there.
And we were like, okay, cool, let's go.
Yeah, Bob died at the beginning of the next session. It was just like,
Oh.
you're spending this session making a character.
We've since found out that Valky,
Oh,
that Shiana,
Oh, yeah.
not only is her dad Nezro.
You know who Nezro is?
He's the great big dog of the sky.
Yes.
Great big dog in the sky. Not only is her dad Nezro, her mom is Pharasma,
The goddess of death.
that I worship.
Pharasma's the one
Pharasma is the goddess of death.
that
That Valky worships.
That
no,
Nezro killed.
in the other campaign.
No, she was not in the other campaign.
She wasn't?
No.
Okay. Who is it that you're serving now in the other campaign?
I can't
You
remember what her
died.
name was.
Yeah, you
I
Stinson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stinson was with the Lady of Luck and Travel.
Okay.
We just don't remember her name right now.
Yeah, Pharasma is death and midwives and fate.
I like Pharasma.
She's pretty cool.
It's a nice combination.
Yeah. And so we found out that Shiana just is God, not part God, not half God. Just both of her parents are gods. It was thrown at you as well.
What is it?
Is that how it ended up?
Yes.
I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is.
We also found out that she had like another part to her that was the human part, the Pharasma part, who was since I killed because she was cursed and I got told to by Pharasma. I now have a dagger that was still in her when I burned her. Burned her body,
for a minute.
and it's weirdly magical in ways that I don't know yet, but I haven't really gotten into a fight that I could test it out with much. There was a point where I almost, if things had gone slightly differently, there was a possibility of Valky becoming the god of death and also possibly killing Pharasma after going crazy, but none of that actually happened. It's just there was a much higher possibility of it happening than there should have been. That's all.
Did a god get like killed, but not really killed, but they kind of went on vacation with somebody else in charge, or was that just an idea?
No,
was Pharasma and Nezro.
that's what happened. Nezro went crazy, and he had his own plane of existence, and he went crazy in it, and it just kind of became an empty plane. And Pharasma was having this is actual canon in Pathfinder history. Pharasma went through a period where she was having her prophecies were wrong, and she's the goddess of fate, so that's kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So she just kind of would go to this empty plane to clear her head and try and think, where she met a very, very crazy and very, very angry wolf god who killed her. And then he became the god of death.
That part is not canon. Nezro is not canon.
Nezro is not canon. But, so, Nezro killed her and became the god of death and had to be the god of death while he searched the bone prison to find Pharasma to release her. And then when he did that, she was pissed. So she killed him.
Right, so.
And left him locked in the bone prison for a really long time.
Meanwhile, however many years later,
Yeah, and then
Valky almost goes crazy. And what it was is she'd had a really bad couple weeks. And if she had had another bad day, she was basically going to demand to see Pharasma.
Mm-hmm.
And Shiana probably could have made that happen. So she just would have found her way into the presence of Pharasma. And she had this knife that had kind of absorbed the curse from Pharasma's daughter, from the other part of Shiana.
Mm-hmm.
And that curse was playing with the positive and negative energies of her and making her kind of undead.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized on my way home from a session one day that if I went there and if she said something that tipped me off just enough, or hit me just wrong, there was a chance Valky was just going to crack and go crazy. And if that happened, there was a chance she was going to take the knife that would have probably been in her hand to show Pharasma and just stab Pharasma with it.
Oh.
While channeling positive and negative energy from Pharasma through the knife into Pharasma and just kind of forcing it out of her and just... Yeah, and it would have been crazy and stupid and weird, but...
He told me this, and I had to sit down. I shit you not, I had to sit down for about 2 hours and think about, all of the things that I had to think about to figure out what the fuck would happen if he did that. Because it's there was a lot to take into account. I'm kind of pissed off that...
Chris is really good at breaking games.
Yes, I'm really pissed off that he didn't do it after I went through all the trouble, but whatever.
And that's the thing is, as a storyteller, I'm disappointed it didn't happen because it would have been really freaking cool as a story.
Mm-hmm.
As Valky's player, I'm really happy it didn't happen because best case scenario, she would have become a god. Anything else would have been much worse than that, and she didn't want that. That's still bad in her book. It's just everything else would have been so much worse.
So now, he's just kind of Valky's.
If you scoot your butt back another inch, it's going to be impaled on something.
I know.
Okay.
It's there. I know it's there.
He then proceeded to scooch his butt back a little bit more. I know.
But he's Valky has since then just kind of been traveling. She demolished part of a mage guild.
Well, she no, it really. You keep thinking it's part of it, and I keep
telling you no, it was just the one spot.
No, last time you said that, and then I said that it was because it wasn't that spot on the island. It's
God,
that.
Yes, and I keep forgetting that part for some reason. No, okay, but the guild isn't dead. It's just mostly dead.
Yeah. I'm not saying everyone died. I'm saying as far as Valky and as far as I know, that was the main hub of the guild that a god got summoned to, possibly two gods, to kill everyone.
They made a lot of people mad. No, they didn't make a lot of people mad. They just made two very important people mad.
Yeah, they made two gods mad.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
They're
not around so much anymore.
So I've missed a lot.
Yes. I believe when the last session you saw, they were still level 5.
What level are you now?
I'm now level 8, which is a bigger difference than it sounds like.
That's okay, so Chandler hasn't explained his face to me, but I'm playing in a D&D game tomorrow with Joseph and them. We'll see how this goes. Mm-hmm. Chandler squealed like a 5-year-old fangirl in my ear when I told him this. He was very excited.
I've been trying to convince you to play for years.
Well, congratulations. You worn me down.
Well, someone else did that part for me. I loosened it up for
you.
you.
No, you wore me down. It's just, if I fuck up their campaign, I don't care so much. It's for what it is. That sounds really mean. So I was over here the other night, and Joseph had me roll my stats, which I still have no idea what I was doing. He gave me 4d6, and I was just throwing them in the thing.
Yeah, that's what you do.
They're 12, 12, 12, 15, 15, 12.
Oof.
That's what I said.
Explain the face!
Well, the thing is, those aren't bad stats. Those are all above average for your average human. for adventurers and for what we personally are used to in the games we've been playing, because he tends to do high fantasy and he's given us much better rolls. Like, you roll them in a way that makes them end up higher. So what we're used to, those are really low. They're not bad stats, and I like playing in games where you don't have just all of them powerful stats. That makes it where you have to think more and you have to plan more and be better as a character and as a player. And it's good that you're starting out not having just great stats, because I feel like that would spoil it.
It does.
It's just that
as someone whose first game was actually with very high stats, and every game after that I've been disappointed by.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's
like mine are, for whatever campaign Joseph's got in mind. Mine were bad enough that he kind of boosted them.
Yeah, I was about to say they kind of play higher fantasy as well.
Oh, okay.
Because he looked at me. He's like, I'm boosting some of these. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm playing my race is a kitsune. I still don't have a fucking name for it.
Yeah.
Can I just be no name?
Noname.
Noname.
Here we go.
That's your name. There, you're welcome.
Thank you. And I'm a bard, some kind of barbarian.
She's going to be a barbarian.
Those are two very different.
No, she's going to be multi-classing.
Oh, she is.
She's going to be a barbarian.
It's bard and something else. I have a song that I could basically go, you're all raging now. Congratulations. And my entire party, all my friends are raging.
Wait, what?
They do alternate rules too.
Oh, okay, sure.
Which
I'm telling you what Joseph told me. It's one of my songs.
Okay.
Ability, I don't fucking know. And then one ability that I do know that I have is called Unusual Lust.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one because the campaign's already kind of started a little bit without me, and one of the players, Mike, so far, he's fucked a giant scorpion.
Oh.
And two other like monster creatures, and the scorpion's now his pet. And Joseph's like, I did not intend to this. He was like, I just kept rolling twos every time. And he was like, I want to fuck the scorpion. Joseph rolled 2 for the scorpion. He's like, this fucking fit. Fuck. Like, so he's very excited that I have the spell Unusual Lust.
I like the origin story for Hijinks more than.
I fucked the scorpion and kept it as a pet. I tried to show up my party members and got a god. Moving on. Thanks, Boro.
Okay.
I'll quit interrupting now.
So, just head out. Oh, so the door to the outside through the guard post was at the other side of it, or?
Yeah. There's no, behind the guardhouse, there's an area where you can go. You can pass through the wall.
Oh, okay.
There's someone standing there, and it doesn't look like there's a spot you can pass through, but he pulls a lever, and some of the blocks shift.
Oh, okay.
And open up, and as soon as it, but before he does that, he warns you to just go ahead and put on your mask, and he puts on his as well.
Actually, before I do, I'll say, by the way, are there any like places of interest to go? I'm just kind of sightseeing here, and I'm sure it'll be cool enough on its own, but if there's
a tower sprouted out of the ocean a little bit.
Oh yeah, that I was on my way there. I was stopping by here.
There's the Nether Cove, but I wouldn't recommend going there. Also, are you going out there dressed like that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you sure?
No. We'll see. And then I put on the mask. And put on Chiana's as well.
Okay. Well, he opens it, and as soon as it opens, the glitter thought mist seeps in, like whooshes in as if like wind or something.
Mm-hmm. Pause. You're in a world with glitter mist everywhere.
No,
not everywhere. Just
this is a special phenomenon in this particular spot.
Oh, in the fracture.
Yeah, it's actually
right,
because y'all can know the reason.
Where?
The reason for it is because the canyon, which is the black and red, the canyon emits a lot of humid air, and then the planar shard part of it is supposedly in this area somewhere, so it's really really cold.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's just frozen fog.
Kind of. It's just the and it's all like weird magic. So it basically it froze the air ish. So like there's a whole bunch of really sharp ice crystals just like floating everywhere.
So pretty.
Oh, it's beautiful. It just
I
will
wanna
cut you
live
to
there.
shreds if you breathe it in.
I want to live there.
I know, right?
Also, if it gets too windy, there are these things called needle storms, and you know those balls at Walmart where you shake them up and it's just glitter everywhere?
Mhm.
It looks like that, except a lot more scary looking. It doesn't. It's not so much like wow, that's pretty. It's more like I'm glad that I don't have any exposed skin over there.
So he opens it.
Becky.
So he opens it, and you do feel pricks and pokes on your skin as
Mhm.
the fog moves through. You don't get any actual cuts.
Does it feel noticeably cold?
Yes.
How cold?
You can. Oh, see. Do you?
It doesn't say. It's the... You can exist between those without making fortitude saves.
So do you immediately have to start making fortitude saves beyond that?
I don't know how the fortitude saves work for cold conditions. That's the trouble.
I can do that. I know that one.
Because that's basically what it is. It's letting you exist in a wider range without having to make those saves.
What's kinetic energy?
Movement.
Moving energy.
Thank you.
Energy in motion.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. Also, I walked in and everybody knew I was going to be here except for Joseph, and he was very, very confused.
Yeah, he was finishing some business.
Oh. What kind of business?
None of my business. Alright, cold and exposure deal non-lethal damage to the victim. The character cannot recover from the damage dealt by a cold environment until you get out of the cold and warm up again. Once you've taken an amount of non-lethal damage equal to your total hit points, any further damage is lethal. An unprotected character in cold weather must make a fortitude save each hour. The DC is 15 plus 1 per the previous check, or take 1d8 points of non-lethal damage. 1d6 of non-lethal damage. The character who has the survival check may receive a bonus on the saving throw and might be able to apply this bonus to other characters as well. In conditions of severe cold or exposure below 0 degrees, you have to make a fortitude save every 10 minutes, DC 15 plus 1 per previous check, taking 1d6 points of non-lethal damage on each failed save. Characters wearing a cold weather outfit only need to check once per hour for the damage. Oh, extreme cold. Just kidding. So you're going to be taking. You have to make one every minute. Oh no, you will be taking 1d6 points of lethal damage per minute. No save. You also must make a fortitude save. Oh. So you will be taking 1d6 damage, and then you can fortitude save or take an additional 1d4.
Oh.
And it is negative 60 degrees around here, so you're taking damage, you go. So
I'm not getting the endure elements isn't lessening that. It doesn't say.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Is does it immediately drop back off again, or does it?
It doesn't say. A creature protected by endure elements suffers no harm from being in a hot or cold environment. It can exist comfortably in conditions between negative 50 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit without having to make fortitude saves. The creature's equipment is likewise protected. It doesn't provide any protection from fire or cold damage, nor does it protect against other environmental hazards such as smoke, lack of air, and so forth. That's all it says.
Oh, and if anyone who takes any non-lethal damage from cold or exposure is beset by frostbite or hypothermia, treat as fatigued. These penalties end when the character recovers the non-lethal damage. So, you do feel cold. And because it hasn't been a minute yet, you don't quite know if you get that fortitude save or not. Because I'm still exciting. But it is cold. Shion shivers as well. He raises an eyebrow. Are you sure?
Can I understand him with the... Okay. How thick, like, can I feel with my hands how thick the, mist is?
Like, show me with your hand what you do.
Like, just by waving through the air, kind of
How
thing.
fast?
About like that?
And you just want to feel how thick it is?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can't feel, like, a specific number of ice crystals, but you do feel your hand brushing past them pretty much nonstop.
Okay.
There are lots of very, very tiny ones. You can't really see them.
Okay. So taking my hood off for a second to ask him to be able to ask a question is not a good idea. Okay. Put it this way. Have I seen or heard of a way to let him know to let me back in?
No.
Okay. How far... that was a big thing.
And you can see... Oh, no, you can't. It's misty.
Let's see.
Who's texting me? Where are you? Oh, Joseph was asking where I'm at.
He's having a threesome, Joseph. Go away.
He was asking where I was. Joseph, I'm here! Alright, so what up?
I kind of need to know how cold it feels. If it feels...
And that's so hard to answer because the spell is so unclear.
I know.
I'm going to say no, it does drop off immediately because it is magical effect that's letting you do it, and if that's all it can handle, then suddenly it just breaks through the magic.
Okay.
And
So it feels very cold.
yes, you feel as though if any time it has taken you to have this small conversation, you have actually taken damage.
Okay.
So
Well, I haven't had... That's the thing, we can't have a conversation because we have masks on.
Right. Well, oh yeah, you didn't talk. You just thought about talking.
And,
Didn't.
yeah.
So yeah, so he opens it and immediately you feel this blood, this very, very cold. Not necessarily a blast, but definitely a waft.
I'm going to turn into ice and take my mask off
Okay.
and say, is there a way for me to get you to open this back up from the other side? And then put my mask back on and cancel the body vice thing.
Yeah, there's a no, sorry, you have to walk around to get out.
So he
Or
just
to get,
shakes
to
his
get
head
yeah,
now?
yeah, he just shakes his head now. Because I know the question.
Then I'm going to sigh and be really disappointed and just kind of wave to...
Alright, well, he closes it back up again. It feels not cold, not as cold anymore. He takes his mask off. Too cold?
Yeah, I'm going to have to prepare different spells to tackle this.
You know, we've got cold weather stuff.
That's no fun. It's all bulky and well, I guess I wouldn't still be hot, but it's all bulky and wearing clothes and
The really sad part is that sounds more like a Chandler answer.
No,
Wearing clothes.
It's just because I don't express it as much as he does. But I am going to cut the video here.